Okay, so the first section, as we discussed earlier, is to build and rank your website. So, and the first element, the first step of that build and rank theme that we will be going after is optimize your roofing website for SEO. So here is what we want to achieve, right? We want to move from a static classical HTML site with limited flexibility to a platform. And we have tested multiple platforms with our clients, our own websites, and the WordPress platform is the best, right? It has 80% market share of the platforms, integrates with many plugins. Plugins are things that are used to make the website more functional, add more functionality to it. And it's an open platform. So it's, for example, the other day I saw a local marketing guy trying to market roofers or other businesses, uh, saying that they can move their website to their new platform for free. But what happens is their own platform is proprietary. So if you don't keep paying them, they just own your website and they don't let you take your website back because it's a closed platform. Anything that they've developed, they charged you. You cannot go and um, continue working with the same website in a different platform. It just doesn't make sense, right? It's just good for them because they tie the customers, but it's not good for the customers because they can't really work on their website. So that's why we recommend WordPress, and that's one of the benefits of this webinar is to show you some tools that are, again, you don't need to know how all these tools work and technologies work, but imagine somebody having done all the work, the trial and error, and of the hundreds of thousands of tools, sometimes just can recommend something uh, very tangible. So that's what we'll talk about WordPress. From slow and not mobile friendly to not security in having an address. So how many of you guys have an HTTPS installed right now? Looking at, yeah, few, not many, right? If you don't have a security certificate on your website, Google will show it as not secure. Although some visitors may not see it, some do see it and not secure. And that, that's not a good trust element. Or many of the actually uh, people are checking the websites on their mobile phones. How about if the site is not loading properly or fast enough, or is not even mobile friendly, right? So those are the things that we look at and make sure that they are fast, mobile optimized, and has an SSL certificate. A lot of the roofing websites we've seen have 6 to 8 page sites with no significant inner pages. So there's not really a lot of pages on the site. And Google kind of likes 20 to 30 page sites for local businesses, right? So we want to have 15 plus pages that include specific pages about your service, about your location. So we want to build separate pages for these target things. The titles, tags, URLs are not really optimized for your target keywords in most cases. So we want to optimize them basically so that Google can really recognize, oh, this site is about X. This site is about roof repairs in San Jose, California, or anything like that. We want to. There are some codes in the website which can be again changed relatively easily with the WordPress platform that makes Google aware of what your site or page, more important than what your page is about. Because what you want to rank is not your website, it's the page. If you want to rank your homepage, that's still a page of in your site. So your homepage should be optimized for what you want to rank for, but you might have other pages in your website that also rank, right? So we're just approaching ranking from a page perspective, so everything should be optimized around that page. And then a lot of businesses just build the site and they leave it there. They don't update it with fresh content. What we recommend is it should be a dynamic website with new content. Maybe it's about roofing, how to do roof repairs, what to watch out for, how to prepare, how to maintain, anything that you feel is useful for your visitors. you need to be having blog articles published every week. And ideally, all these articles should be also republished in other platforms or websites so that Google can see all this activity going on around your website, right? But this is why we say we're optimizing this website for the search engine. Again, there will be another section later which will talk about the conversion elements for the website. This is not conversion elements for the website. This is how do we optimize it for the search engines, right? So in each of the 5 pages that follow, we'll talk about a little bit on this A, B, C, D, E. This is the flow of our presentation. Again, I mentioned I like a structured, high-value approach, so we don't lose any time and get to the content as fast as we can, and to provide you guys the highest value, right? But I'll move relatively quickly on these websites as on these sort of sections, so A to E, because I've already discussed what these mean. Go to here. Again, you'll see here, I'm okay, so the market share is 60% actually. Maybe I said it higher, but still it's like 10 times, about 10 times of the second, platform. So WordPress, that's why we choose them. And we have all these, what we call plugins, things that enable, these plugins are like that, like cement that makes things stick together, right? That makes all the different parts kind of combined together, right? So, and uh, all these plugins are most of these are free. There are some paid plugins too, but these are most of the free, and then they integrate with WordPress, makes our job much easier. And then effective websites that have fast load time and mobile responsive. They need to have this capability, because there was some research done by Google. So this is data shared by Google. 76% of people who search on their smartphones for something nearby visit a business within a day. So that's what they have. They visit not necessarily that business, but a business in that category within a day. So there's a significant amount of local searches done on mobile. And then 28% of those searches result in a sale. Again, this is a general sector, might be different for roofing, probably different for roofing, but it still shows, at least from a Google's perspective, why they like fast websites, why they like mobile friendly websites, why they like websites with SSL security certificate. And if you were to work more intimately with us, we do all these three things. If you will increase your website speed, we'll move you to WordPress if you're not still on WordPress, we'll install an SSL certificate on your website, and things like that, right? So anything we say here as best practice, we do that. We do those in our services, which we can talk about later. Again, so there are some tools to measure, how fast your website is. So if we have or maybe one-to-one strategy session or a free consultation, we go through some of these metrics with you. What's your Google page speed insight? So this is actually Google's measurement of the page speed of your website on mobile and on desktop, and it gives you ranking. There is a GTmetrix speed test, which shows also how fast it loads. Let's say this company, MadisonRoof.com, fully loaded speed 2.5 seconds, which is pretty good. But the performance scores, once it's loaded, I think for everything to load, all the images, it gets a DMB rating. So you want to ideally see this B or below, B or above, B plus or above. Any issues, like any specific things with F rating, so there is a rating for each of these individual items. Again, technically you don't need to know it, but anything we see as F, we try to fix it, make it A or B. And mobile friendliness test, you can check if your site is mobile friendly. If it's WordPress, latest themes, one of the latest themes, it will be mobile friendly. And then SSS security, you'll have the secure sign and HTTPS. If your website doesn't have it, I would highly recommend to get it as soon as possible. Some people say it also affects the rankings. At least for now, it says it's not secure in Google Chrome. And you don't really want to do that for it's something that could be installed. Okay, and then look at the 15 plus pages that we talked about, right? You need to determine your cities and services. So for example, services could be like sub pages for each service and main location. So let's say you're in a Sacramento roofing company, Sacramento residential roofing, Sacramento commercial roofing could be two separate pages, right? Or Sacramento roofing with solar panels, uh, Sacramento roofing with shingles, things like that. What are any specific roofing types that you work with, or anything specific that you provide? You want to have a separate page for it, because you can only rank the pages, and for each page, you can't rank for all the keywords. For each of the pages, you should target a specific one or two keywords, two at most, because you want to optimize everything around that keyword, right, for that page. So if you don't have even a separate page, if all the services are listed on a single page, then you can't really do that, right? And then cities, there should be a main city, let's say Sacramento, and there will be surrounding cities. And if the surrounding cities are, what we recommend is more than 100,000 people population, then you would want to have a separate page for those cities as well. If it's less than 100,000, sometimes you can, we have ways to be able to rank them, especially if they're in the radius, let's say 30, 40 miles radius of your main location in your Google Maps listing. Then you don't need separate pages. But for anything over 100K within a 50-mile, 60-mile range, I would say, or service area you want to serve, then you would want to have a separate page, right? And then, on the right-hand side, we see some of the, you can see some of the examples of, how you can do separate either page or blog posts for these type of services, right? That's what we build. Again, once if we decide to work more intimately together, then we do all these website build up, like page build ups for you guys, right? Again, this is an example of how a roofing website has done it. Right? They've identified services as shingle roofing systems, elastometric systems, insulation, modified bitumen. Again, this part I'm not technical. I don't have the detailed understanding of these services. I know metal roofings and flat roofings, but whatever your services are, you can do it like that. And look at how the URLs are different for each of these. So once I click on these buttons, it's going to take me a different page. You want to ideally have a similar thing. Right? There's many things. Like you may not take payment right now, but let's just take it out. But you should have a home about page. You should have reviews. You should have services. You should have locations. Like that's a neat, good way of structuring a website for Google, right? And then cities. Each of the cities you can click here, and it will go to a city location, right? And then each of the city pages will optimize title, URL, H1, and content. You guys get this? Great. Perfect. All right. And then publishing content and blog articles every week keeps your website fresh. Like look at the tips and articles. I think the previous website didn't have the blog here. Maybe I would just add that. Tips and articles, 5 great tips, roof repair, avoid roof repair, etc. Storm damage advice, tips for hiring contractor. And then you see all these blog posts, and you can syndicate these things to other platforms. You can have them be published on your Facebook profile, Facebook business page. We do create some social profiles for you guys, and that's part of the link building activity. You can publish some of these automatically there, but it just keeps the web page fresh. Again, as a summary, that's what we discussed to get your website ready for search engines. I think we have covered enough content for you to get an understanding of how the website should be for the search engine.